Hey guys, J-Games here again. This is going to be what if Asta was Gremmy's reincarnation. At some point we do know that Gremmy's defeated by Kenpachi, but at some point in the story, let's say after Yubok's defeat, well, they realized that with Yubok being the new Soul King, keeping the other Soul King's limbs around would be honestly too dangerous, should have felt like Yubok come into more reality. So they decided to kill off the strongest ones, being they would kill off Gremmy and, they'd kill off the brain and the heart. Well, then they'd keep the left and right hand, the fact that they could be good power sources for later on. So with this, Gremmy's eventually killed, and reincarnated inside Asta when he's brought to Hajj village. Now immediately, Asta shows signs of being just a quote-unquote prodigy in his own respective verse. The fact that he was not a prodigy, no, this is a literal version of God-given power. A boy with the devil with God's power. So yeah. And with this, Asta already showed signs of being able to just do anything he wanted to. Via the village, like, oh yeah, we can have good crops this summer. I was like, not this summer, like we can't have good crops because of the weather. I was like, oh well, here's your own weather pattern to stick around for around 3 months. Keep it. Asta kind of brought Hajj village prosperity in money, in land, everything. And because he's actually nurtured, he's not like Gremmy whatsoever. He's actually a pretty common nurtured kid. He was a bit like Gremmy for his first 5 years of life, so you say from that one guy. Where Asta ended up basically something a giant sword and almost cut the guy's head off. Because Asta, he wanted strength. He gave his body strength, but realized he needed to maintain it, which is where the hardworking Asta would come in. He can't just wish for strength. He needs to actually work for it. And yes, this Asta is still kind of dumb, but he has a nurtured mind, so he can think outside the box, but also keep those thoughts normal. So he can do. He's not as smart as Gremmy is, but he has a lot better of a mind, a lot healthier mind than Gremmy does. So yeah, Gremmy wasn't healthy, Asta is. Gremmy's smart, Asta, he's pretty average. Well, this Asta is. So yeah, we go on basically just, I would say like, we probably just go on to when the whole exam where they have their books. Asta usually wears all white. So yeah. And also fits his hairstyle with his red eyes as well. So Asta just kind of looks like just cold as all hell sometimes. I'm like cold in the temperature. No, this man is like dripping as all hell. It's fun. So yeah, I would have called Gremmy's hair white, but I kind of made this in school and I didn't have time to draw. And I realized I should have drawn it until 48 seconds ago. So yeah. But yeah, so when it came to the grimoires, Asta got the five clover grimoire. But instead of his being all demonic, it looks angelic. Because Asta saw it for a split second, as he sensed it. He can sense basically everything he can sense everything going on basically. He sensed it coming down and immediately just changed what it looks like. As he caught it, everyone thought it was an angelic grimoire. There's a Wizard King's grimoire, but then this is God's grimoire. And immediately everyone's actually shocked. Doesn't feel inferior to Asta. He never has. Asta calls his magic mind magic, because it comes from his mind, or imagination magic, because he can summon up anything he wants to from his imagination alone. And doesn't really have a time limit unless Asta would forget about it, which does actually give him a really good memory. So yeah, actually, I don't think it's just that he would forget about it. No, it's just that. Let's tell you about this. His mind needs to be strong enough to conjure things that are that powerful, or this thing with such long life. So you use your weather pattern. It'll stick around for a few months, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, because it's a weather pattern that can go away at any time. But Asta wants to make sure it sticks around for a few weeks. But yeah, so Asta gets his grimoire, and as he's leaving, these two nobles want to rob him. But Asta immediately just smiled at them before a giant wall appeared and trapped them. And not wall jump, kind of just a giant house trapped them, but the house is just empty. But also make sure this would be torture because the house is completely, silent. No one can hear anything inside or outside. There's a door, but you need a lot of physical strength to open it. The house will go after for 30 minutes or so. Also put a time limit on it. If they don't go insane with the time though. But then there's that one guy who tried to rob Yuno still, with Yuno being so strong because him and Asta both awaken their magic. Asta awakened his when he was really young. From the moment he can imagine things, was basically able to use magic. Asta as a baby, was like, I can't really understand you. He thought about that, and he's like in his own language, like, I can't understand you, or his own in his own, like, gibberish, I can't understand you. So in his own gibberish, he made it so he could understand everything. Well, let him talk earlier, walk earlier. He'd do everything early, because in his own gibberish, he wanted to understand people. So, yeah. But yeah, so with this, when it came to the guy robbing Yuno, well, with power nurtured a lot faster, because Asta can also imagine himself using other people's magic. He can do that if he wants to. It's his mind. Well, he can use Yuno's magic too. He's helped Yuno enhance it. I think Yuno's almost as strong as he is, like until he meets what's the fairy's name? Hold up. I haven't watched Black Clover in a long time. Alright, I was going to call it Sif, but oh yeah, it's Sylph. I paused, I'm like, Sylph, it's Sylph. So yeah, so Yuno's almost as strong as he is when he gets Sylph. Almost that strong. So Yuno's pretty good. So Yuno kind of just stared the guy down before he's using not even like a spell from his book. Just says, go away. And he waved fingers, the guy's blown through a building. The guy tried to use his chains too, but Yuno just condensed the air around them to the point where they kind of just got crushed. So yeah. So with this, well, we go on probably just them taking Magic Knight's exam later on. As they head up to go take Magic Knight's exam, Asta is kind of flying on kind of like a cloud, like flying Nimbus. And Yuno's just flying with the wind, as Asta recommended he learn how to do that. Not flying like lighting, and Asta kind of helping him do it. So yeah. By the time they get to the exam, they arrive just on time, and they walk through. Everyone question what the cloud is. But then the cloud would just dissipate, and Asta walked in and is like, yeah, let's see your grimoire. Asta looked at grimoire, and they realize it looks angelic. But the guy says, 5 clovers, doesn't that mean like demonic? Asta stared him down, saying, really, demonic? This is demonic. This also gave the guy a very scary glare. The glare made the guy piss himself, actually. Walk in, Asta still bumped into Yami. But Yami looked down at Asta, saying, what are you doing, you shrimp? He just stared him down. But Asta knows he's stronger than anyone in the world. He knows he is. And in fact, he's arrogant. No, you simply just cannot beat him no matter what you do. Asta just stared down Yami, saying, shrimp. Maybe you're the small one. As Asta suddenly grew, and his muscle surpassed Yami, his height surpassed Yami, and his magic levels surpassed Yami. He was better than him in every way. Yami froze that Asta could do this, and immediately just said, what the hell kind of magic is this? Asta shrank back down before she jumped over Yami, saying, just watch and find out. Can you give me a hand here? Asta kind of jumped right over Yami and didn't want to reveal his magic just yet. With this, you want to catch him. Asta landed. And with this, they go all the way into the exams. First thing, how many crows go around you? Still none for Asta. Or actually, no, not none. I'm pretty sure it was a lot for him. He still is narrow. But with how advanced Asta's brain is when it comes to like sensing magic, he senses ki, magic, and, pressure. This creature has pressure. Also, she took it off his head saying, you have life force. Like a human's life force. This actually made it confused everyone. Also says, oh yeah, I can sense things. Asta then made him hearing deeper, saying, I want to see your mind. Asta then imagined what it like to see someone's mind, and he started cleaning the Nero's mind, saying, oh wow, you're a human. He threw the bird in the air before it landed right in his arms, as Nero with actually let's say the same clothes that she usually wears, it's just they're not Black Bull's clothes, they're just regular clothes. So yeah. So with this, as he's supposed to put Nero down, he says, alright, well, she'll be taking the exam with me. Nero summoned her grimoire, saying, I was worried that I could be turned back into a human so early. What kind of magic do you use? Asta just says, you'll figure out later. As with the test, Asta passes everything, but with flying colors in his own way. Like, flying a broom. I was like, I can fly normally. It's like, I can just fly using wind, or I can walk on wind too. So everyone, whatever they wanted them to do, Asta doesn't really need to do it using magic, he just does it using his mind. Then, can either do it exceptionally well, or he surpasses everyone. By the time it came to 1v1s, it basically had to be Asta and that one guy. The guys that go, bah-ha-ha, that one guy. He tried to use like a shield magic, saying, I have the greatest defense here, I guarantee it. I have like defense magic. Asta says, I'm just really curious, so here's my magic. He puts grimoire into a single page. He held it up with the guy saying, what does it say? The guy says, imagination. He says, exactly. You're the captain over there, right? He points at Dorothy, who's sleeping, saying, your magic should be similar to mine, but very much weaker than mine. You can do something that happens in your dream, but my dream is reality. Everyone there froze, realizing that Asta's getting the captains. Everyone who knows Dorothy's ability, they go Asta's hinting at. Whatever he thinks of, he can do. Yami says, some of you idiots aren't getting it, are you? Whoever this brat thinks of, he can do. Also with nod, saying, yeah, like you, Yami. Summon the katana, and suddenly the katana's coated in darkness. This happens to be one of your techniques, right? Well, I want to scan the bird's mind, scan everyone's mind instead. This should be able to cut through the shield pretty easily. Dimensional slash. Suddenly the barrier's cut in half and the guy is killed, but Asta brought him back to life immediately. Asta smirked before saying, see, I'm way stronger than you. So don't think because you're noble, you're impressive. The guy just froze there and actually wanted to die again. He lived in the garden of humiliation, fear, and his own urine. Asta went back to Yuno before she's sitting on Yuno's shoulders, saying, alright then, alright, who wants us? As Yuno had already finished his match, he finished it in one go. With this, immediately all the captains put their hands up, saying, for Asta and Yuno, we want both of you. We want, all the captains want both of you. Asta said, you make your choice first. Yuno says, I'll take Golden Dawn. Asta says, so basic. I'll go with Black Bulls. Immediately Yami's like, alright, let's use some clothes. What about the bird creature? Nero already finished her match, saying, Asta freed me, so I'll be joining him. And immediately Asta says, alright, we got it. As Asta immediately just holds his hand out, and they both get new clothes. Nero wearing the same Black Bulls uniform, and Asta's hoodie just turned black with a Black Bulls logo on it. And Yami just says, can you teleport? Asta says, yep, I'm in the location. Well, Yami described the place to a T, and Asta says, oh, here, cool. Then the portal opened in the middle of the place, and Asta, Yami, and Finral walk clean through it. With this, immediately, this is before Black Bulls fighting. It's loud still, but not like a giant argument. And then it's still at least half her clothes on, so it works out. So this, everyone's wondering how Yami got there with with Finral teleporter, without Finral being that good a teleporter. He didn't go here pinpointedly with it still being daytime. Emily, Yami says, all right, meet the future captain of the Black Bulls. And he holds up Asta. Finral says, so evil. And immediately, he's like, wait, what do you mean future captain? This brat can't be that strong. Look, and Magna appears saying, you're a future captain, huh? Fight us. Asta says, sure. He jumped down, and Lucky immediately to kick him in the head. Asta appeared right next to Lucky in the gut full force, and, Luck lost everything he had for the last 2 days. Lucky hit the ground and kept vomiting. We look at Magna saying, fire magic, huh? Well, I'll make a new kind of magic. Extinguisher magic. Then Magna used his magic, only to have it extinguished by Asta's single fingertip. And then immediately, Magna's like, what, you can only extinguish things? Asta's like, no, I just imagined a magic that can destroy yours. Wait, Magna says, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Luck got up for smirking, saying, don't tell me you can imagine anything. Yami says, see, he's dumb, but he got it. Magna, be like him. And immediately, Magna just kind of sank to his knees, saying, so strong, so manly, as he just smirks, high-fiving Asta. Immediately, Yami's like, oh, speaking of that, brat, you had an offer from the Golden Dawn. Why choose us? Asta says, simple, you're the underdogs. And I'll make sure you're the greatest Magic Knight squad ever. And I'll make sure you guys aren't like me. You'll show your power through hard work. Not some minor hard work, and the rest of it being left up to me. Like I did myself. I'm not meaning hard work till recently. Well, besides swordsmanship, that was really hard to imagine myself being a master of. I can imagine myself knowing masterful techniques, but if I use them properly, I'd destroy my body. So I'm really a swordsman, that's about it. I was actually just kind of shocked by that. With this, eventually, we go into them meeting Noel. Noel had heard about Asta's display. We respect every Magic Knight captain by just using his mind. So, Noel thinks that he's some kind of noble with that kind of power. But then when Asta reveals that he's not a noble, just some kid from Hosh Village, that he's the one that actually made it prosper, said he's just some brat that lucked out on magic. He's just lucky, nothing else. Which did annoy Noel that she was a noble, but couldn't look out like him, like he was just chosen by the gods. But yeah. But eventually we can go on to, I would say, about now, probably just when... I could probably see this going on now to probably just like Noel about drowning herself in the water. Boss kind of just jumped up, putting his hand on it, and immediately the water just crumbled away. Like it kind of froze for a second, and then just crumbled away to normal things. When the ice formed a giant bed for her, Noel landed on it, and she was caught. I was just wondering one thing, why Asta didn't have to do the whole ritual. with Asta's words, he wanted to make them work hard and not be like him, not be like him where he didn't work too hard. They do actually not give him the ritual because he just breezed through it with his mind alone. They wouldn't want him. They wouldn't want him to do that. He doesn't want to do it. Want to do it himself. So yeah. So just actually, this is for Asta to get used to the team and actually train with them. They didn't do anything. Plus, he mentioned that Henry was upstairs somewhere in the ever-moving house, which he turned into like whatever they wanted it to. So I also can imagine Henry with a healthy body, and actually gave Henry not normal level of speech, but made him speed up a bit faster and talk. He's still pretty slow, but still a lot easier to tolerate. So Henry has a healthy body and can move around the house pretty easily. So yeah. But yeah, with this, well, we have Nero, we have Henry, we have them a bit earlier. Then eventually he goes on to that first mission. Well, I would say that everyone here's been training with Asta a lot. Because Asta said that he can make everyone here strong as a noble in no time. He's on used to being a good teacher with the kids at his orphanage, and he knows how to train people that aren't as strong as him pretty easily, or strong as easily. Well, this was he trained with everyone, even Yami was forced to train with them, because Asta kind of forces Yami to. By the time I went on the first mission, everyone, all my girls are a lot stronger. Every mission they've been sent on so far, they've actually been doing really good, actually. So when it came to that one mission where it's like, oh yeah, it requires Asta, Magna, and Noel. Asta says he'll be supervising it, but he won't be doing a thing. Magna and Noel, this will be a test of your power. So when it came to one of those where Magna's from, they arrived there. And when it came to that mission, Asta would watch, but Magna and Noel breeze through it pretty easily. They do really good. Magna's even studying like he did before, getting the super brain even. But Asta had him keep it the whole story. And then Noel, she kept training, and Asta actually helped her control it, as there's a lot of kids that Asta trained that can't control their magic. He treated Noel like one of those kids, but smarter. So when she could control it, well, Asta's also been able to control his magic since he was a little kid, so it didn't really matter. That was actually a God-given gift from him, not just his power, his control over it. So when Noel finally had control over magic, she did really good with it. She could fly a broom even. She could do anything she really wanted. She's strong, but not strong as she is post-time skip. So yeah. She at least could contend a basic magic knight with full control. So yeah. So yeah, we can go on again, and probably to the next part being, Alright, pretty sure the next thing would be, like, the dungeon exploration arc. Which Asta and Magna, Noel, everyone that's involved breezes through it. So yeah, like, Asta, Luck, they all pretty much breeze through it. And Luck has unlocked a lot more powers. Asta helped, like, oh yeah, you have these like fists and your boots, I would say, of lightning. Try forming like a full like lower body upper body suit of armor. At least perform like weapons. Like these weapons could increase your speed, lightning speeds, but you'd also have attacks that are hitting harder than lightning would. And well, it looks like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. It'd do a lot of damage and create a lot of big explosion. I'd have to dodge rubble and fight for my life against my own attack. I love that. Which isn't what Asta was going for, but Luck was. So yeah, so Luck can fight from like a giant sort of lightning now. So yeah. So in the dungeon we'd have like Asta, Luck, Noel, Mimosa. The enemies would be Lotus and Mars. I'd read a bit about the arc again because I haven't watched it in a long time. Yeah, for sure. The only ones that I can remember would be where actually you believe it's just Klaus and Mars. So yeah, just those two. But yeah. But with this we go on basically to like just I guess the fights. So when it came to Lotus honestly wasn't a threatening opponent at all. No one from the opposing kingdom were. Because when it came to them, the moment that they saw them, well, Luck hit so fast and hard that nothing can really block his defenses. Like, it's really hard to. Like, you have to be... I'm not saying, like, you have to be, like, a captain. You have to be exceptionally strong, like he is, to block his attacks. Nothing is blocking his attacks. So Lotus is pretty easily taken out the moment that he sees Luck, and Luck took him out one blow, and Asta can help him restrained to the dungeon floor. Then they met Mars, and they kind of blew a hole through the place immediately. Or through his like whole like giant crystal armor. But Asta would see it and say, well, Matt, that's just basically just pure magic crystals. I want to see if this can do anything. At least that one's basically the anti-magic sword. But turns everything, well, since his armor is now completely just all black, well, the sword is also black as well, compared to his usual fully white angelicness. But then with the Black Bulls, their whole thing is very dark and grime. So Asta's thing is just, well, the sword is now dark and grime. So Asta immediately appeared behind Mars with his whole armor cut in half. But then Noel would just use water to catch everything so they can't reform. Would just use wind to hold them up in the air, and Mimosa would just use plants to, well, kind of just support everyone. And Klaus is just honestly wondering how everyone here is working all together besides him. But until with this, Mars simply just disabled, and with this, they raid the dungeon successfully, and they get the same stuff as they do in canon. Hold up. So yeah, and in this part also, does get Sylph, but she tries to go to Asta first, but Asta just says he doesn't want Sylph. She should go to Yuno. She's kind of a wind fairy. She'd be better fitting for Yuno. We tries to tell Asta how she can increase his power, or even if it's not wind based. Asta says, well, he can already create wind magic at his strongest potential, which is what he usually does. As he just waved a finger, and immediately the whole dungeon is blown apart, like it's blown open, like the ceiling is just gone. And Sylph is shocked that she can even do that, but Asta can just do it with a wave of a finger. That's how strong his imaginary wind magic is. But yeah, so with his blow, he kind of collapsed the dungeon, so he has to escape with Mars and Lotus. He kind of summoned them both right to him, and they were appeared in his hands. Then they get out of the dungeon with Asta closing it off. Then with this, well, actually, what's the next arc too? I forgot a lot of the arc. Alright, so the next arc would be basically like the assault on the capital. And at this point, Asta does like meet all the magic captains, which mainly Noel's siblings too. But as soon as he meets them, he's kind of walking on air. With Noel, kind of like walking on air next to him, and he's teaching her how to walk on it. This is an ability that, oh, thank God, I'm so happy. Yeah, it's been like hot as all hell for the last few months. I'm finally seeing pouring rain, and I've never been happier. Thank God for Washington. All right. Now this we go on basically just where everyone would see Asta, and Asta's helping. Well, Noel kind of materialize her magic as like a pad to step on. And this is kind of what he does. Well, she can't really do it, but no one really can. Asta's kind of forcing her magic to be able to do that. Using his mind doesn't really shred her body or her magic. He's kind of just materializing it for her. Eventually to the point where she can do it herself. Eventually with this, when it came down to Noel's siblings being, I guess, as douchebags to Asta and her siblings. Noel's siblings being douchebags to, well, him and Noel. He immediately uses magic pressure to force them all to their knees. And Yami can help but laugh, as Nero is usually with Yami. As also give Nero the ability to actually summon wings and actually fly around, like a very fast and strong bird. But she also has like a basic magic barrier when she flies that doesn't really, it kind of hits bugs in the way, like if you're in a car and a bug's hit your windshield. Well, this magic barrier would be the windshield of the bugs, or the birds, or anything in the way. It's a windshield that can handle at least 5 TNTs. So yeah, it can handle at least 5 Minecraft blocks of TNT. It's pretty durable. And well, Nero can also kind of somewhat carry people. It does give her increased strength when she uses these wings. Oh, she carried Yami here. But yeah. But yeah. Then it came to the full-on assault and all the flames and everything. And like Julie's like, oh wow, there's flames and attack. Us this, oh, what flames? As he just holds his hand out and the flames and everything disappears. And immediately the culprits appear right in front of him. In a bubble. Which kind of basically means every member of the Midnight Sun that was here are trapped by Asta. They can't get out. They tried to using magic, but Asta took away all the other magic power. Made them basic people. They can't use magic. Not basic, but he took away all their ability to use magic. He took away all their magical energy. Wouldn't kill them, but they're now regular humans, like you and me. They're regular. Or so some of you maybe bodybuilders. So I don't know about that. You guys may have like better muscles. But yeah, these guys are like they're run-of-the-mill people, average 5'7" people. So yeah. But with them trapped and all already caught by Asta, and all the dead are brought back to life immediately. There's really no arc. It happens in like 10 minutes. The most interesting thing is Asta flexing his power, that's even surpassing the Magic King onto them. So yeah. Before we get any farther, I'm gonna actually end this what if here. I'm gonna end it in this part here. But hope you guys did enjoy this. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.